First off, I appreciate you guys coming. Great win for the football team. That was a good week. But, yeah, fall ball, on-the-field fall ball ended about a month ago, and probably one of the most competitive falls that we've had since I've been here. Maybe the best fall practice, just as far as the work ethic and the work we got done and the improvement of our team. Having some veteran position players back with a good mix of a couple, three very good junior college transfers, and then our high school class that came in. It really gave us an opportunity to put together a couple of pretty good teams for scrimmaging, and the practice is very competitive. I think the guys pushed each other, and again, the older kids did a good job of leading and just really showing the younger guys the way we work here at the University of Arkansas in our baseball program. So all in all, great fall. We did have some injuries. We had a couple of surgeries. We had a broken ankle. We had a thumb injury. Some kids didn't get to play much, and probably put them behind a little bit. But for the most part, we're healing up, and we should be good to go come January. Obviously there's always incidents here and there. We've had a player or two that had to deal with some things. We've had an incident with one of our freshman catchers, Nathan Rodriguez. Has a little issue that we'll be able to announce some things about it later as we find out more detail. But for the most part, it's been a good fall, pretty clean fall. Just trying to get these guys finish up their classes the next 3 weeks and do well on the finals and get ready for spring.
Can you put names to the injuries?
Yeah. I guess really on the pitching side, we rested Trey Killian. He had a little bit of tendonitis and his elbow kind of flared up in the summer with Team USA. So we just really tried to take care of him, and he could have thrown at the end of fall in some games, and he was probably a little upset with us that we didn't let him, but I just finally made a decision. There's no reason to throw him an inning here and an inning there in one of our final scrimmages. He's throwing his bullpens right now. He actually has a bullpen today. But he should be full go, and then Keaton McKinney, one of our top recruits, freshman pitchers, broke his thumb in the summer, was behind when he got here. Really started throwing the ball well at the end of fall ball. He's healed up and ready to go for the most part. And then, really on the position player side, Luke Bonfield, one of our top recruits, second scrimmage out, broke his ankle, had to have a couple of screws put in it. He's been cleared to do everything now. We're not doing any running with him where we make him cut left or right, but he's doing all the hitting drills, and gave him a chance to really work on his upper body. Strength-wise, he looks very good physically, a lot better than when he got here. He feels like he's stronger than he's ever been, and I think it. He took advantage of his downtime away from baseball and really worked on getting stronger. And then Matt Campbell, who's an infielder, middle infielder out of McLennan Junior College. He had to have surgery on his thumb. He had a ligament that was torn, something that he had to make a decision on. You're going to play with it hurt all year, or if we have surgery now, he should be ready to go about full speed, maybe around February 1st. But it has thrown him off swinging the bat and fielding ground balls because it is his glove hand. And then Mike Bernal actually has a little got hit in the hand in one of our series games. Found out he had a little hairline fracture in there on his throwing hand. It just wouldn't get better. So he's healing up. He can still field ground balls, just can't, do a lot with the offensive part of it. So off the top of my head, those are the ones I know. But I'm sure a lot of teams are going through the same thing and just trying to heal up.
What's most exciting for you about the season ahead, the team you've got?
Well, first off, we play a very competitive non-conference schedule with Loyola Marymount. I mean, they're going to be a top 25 team. Another great recruiting year. Their coaching staff came from, such programs as USC, UCLA, and they know the area, and they've done a great job recruiting, keeping some of those kids. They have 2 really good pitchers back. They kept a high draft choice pitcher. Their shortstop is one of the top shortstops in the country. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I can mention that. His younger brother's a really good player too. That's young. They may be here one day. We hope. So that's interesting. They're going to be very good. Cal's going to be good. Could go on and on. Going to a tournament in South Alabama where we get to play Maryland, who came within 1 game of going to the College World Series last year, got beat by Virginia. They've got 2 of their starting pitchers back and have had a good year. And, then we're playing Central Florida that's going to be very talented. Obviously, when you're playing the Florida teams or the California teams, they're usually more advanced at that time of the year because of the weather. And then where we open the season at Vandy, come back, play LSU and Ole Miss, first 9 games right out of the chute will be against teams that will be probably ranked. And so I'm excited about that. But really, I guess it's just as far as our personnel, having Killian back with a lot of experience, Tacklini's gotten better. Jackson's bigger and stronger. Zach Jackson's 30 to 35 pounds heavier than he was when he walked in here as a freshman. And he was a skinny right-hander. Now he's a big right-hander. And, he's made a huge jump in his velocity. So that's just a plus. I feel like James Teague's a lot better. And he's one I didn't mention on the injury. He had a little injury where in his rib cage area that kept him out of fall ball except for 1 inning. He was ready to throw during the series, but we decided to keep him out. But he had a tremendous summer. And then you go to the position players. And, Clark Egan, there's another one I didn't mention either that missed a lot of the fall early, the first 3 to 4 weeks, had his knee scoped. Came out swinging the bat and hit over 350 this fall in his limited at bats. Playing mostly first base, very athletic first baseman. Might hit leadoff for us. I don't know if I've ever had a first baseman hit leadoff, but to me it's all the same. Good experience there. Can also play outfield. And then Andrew Bentini had a tremendous fall. Went out and did not play summer ball. Went home, lifted weights, really got his body stronger. Gained a little bit of weight, but it was more about just strength, and you could really tell. And he had a tremendous fall offensively. Might move him from the leadoff spot to maybe the 3 hole. Might leave him in the leadoff spot. Might flip-flop him, but going to have some good runners at the top. Really going to have good runners throughout the lineup, to be honest with you. The catcher won't run much. Possibly the DH might not, but everybody else is going to run pretty good. So we should be a fun team to watch. I think it'll be a team where we're not just going to sit around and obviously try to hit home runs. Hopefully we're going to hit a lot of doubles, steal some bases. Should be able to bunt a little bit and create some issues with our athletic ability. So, McAfee's back, had a tremendous fall. Did a great job at the plate. Is a lot stronger, healthy. Mike Bernal's better, played all year last year. Bobby Werniss is better. He's a lot better athlete, really worked on his body and his quickness. Brought in a couple JC guys that are doing tremendously well in the infield. And Rick Namura, a switch hitter, who's from Hawaii. And then Max Hogan, who's a left-handed hitter out of Texas Junior College. There's going to be a battle to get in that infield, and it even could be a situation if you're not starting the infield, you might be our DH. And our DH might not be a typical DH power type guy. It might be just a guy that scores runs, hits for average. So in the outfield, we got a couple 3 starters back. If you look at Serrano and Benintendi and Spoon had a good fall too. So and you throw in a couple of new guys. Blake Wiggins hit 4 home runs. Fall ball, and Chad Spanberger's a big left-handed, good-looking kid that hit 4 or 5 home runs as a true freshman in fall ball. Haven't seen that here. Ball might make a little bit of a difference, but I think that they're just big kids that have a little bit of pop. So those guys are going to get in and out of the lineup. So a little more depth than normal on the position player side. A little concerned about the pitching depth that, compared to what we've had the last 4 or 5 years. And kind of knew it might flip-flop a little bit. We mentioned a couple years ago that the hitters were coming. Well, they got to school, and now they're young. You have 11.7 scholarships. Sometimes it's hard to have it all.
Your signing class, especially the local guys, it seems like the talent's getting better, especially the pitching that you're bringing in.
Yeah, you're talking about the class we just signed. I mean, it was we signed 8 in-state kids, probably the most ever here since I've been here. I mean, obviously, our number one goal is to get the best players in the state, and there was a couple of really good players that we didn't get. I think, one signed with Mississippi State, and I think another signed with Auburn. A lot of times, the challenge is how much scholarship can you give them? How much scholarship do you have? Are they going to be ready next year? We're talking about a project. Sometimes other schools have other academic things. They have, other scholarships, whether it be a minority scholarship, academic scholarship, and sometimes we can't compete. It gets tough. When I say can't compete, maybe we just don't have the money that they have for that position. But for the most part, we did a tremendous job of getting kids. And I think with this class coming in, we've got, all together, and I don't know if you have the release yet, but I think we got 5 right-handed pitchers, 4 left-handed pitchers, a catcher, a couple 3 outfielders, a couple infielders. The 2 infielders from in-state, you talk about, some of these kids, they have a chance to get in the lineup pretty quick, So we're excited about the class that came out in 2015 and, the number of Arkansas kids we were able to get.
Where will you play Wiggins?
Right now Blake's working out at first base. Doing a pretty good job over there. In high school as a sophomore, he played shortstop. He's also played third base, and he's also caught. And, we gave him the option to try to continue to catch, just if he thought that might be his future down the road. As far as pro ball, we could still develop him there. But he really wants to try to win that first base job. He did take some ground balls at third later in the fall. I think that, these kids, obviously they look around and they see maybe I have a better shot at playing here or there, getting in the lineup. And, he saw that we had Bobby Wernes back that can field with anybody in the country. There's no doubt about that. Bobby can. Sometimes the question with Bobby is that bad. And then you have Max Hogan that plays over there. We've got a couple other guys that play over there. So, I think that, Blake Wiggins just felt like that, if Egan's, it might be between him and Egan. We also brought in a junior college first baseman as well. So, it was a little bit log jammed over there, and there's a lot of competition, but, it's like I tell them, the strong will survive. And there's, maybe you're not playing first, but maybe you're DHing. And so I tell the freshmen, just try to get in the lineup. And as a freshman, just play. If you get to play some, your position will evolve and you'll get in there. But he's done a good job of competing. Blake, I even told him this, he's a lot better athlete than I realized he was. He throws really well. He runs better than I thought he did. I'm just proud of him. He worked hard the last couple of years getting himself ready for this level. Anything else?
Anything else, guys?
Kind of get to use the indoors.
Do I?
The indoor facility come in handy in the last week or two.
Yeah, it's come in handy since the doors went up. It's we can't hardly keep these guys out of it. They're calling us. They want to practice. Last night, we had the guys wanted to hit. Sunday night at 5 o'clock, Coach Vitello opened it up and hung out with them, and they love it in there. It's almost like, you see basketball players, all they want to do is go in the gym and shoot. It's like they're always in there hitting, taking ground balls. They've got music in there. We've got a ping pong table in there. They have a blast in there, and we're getting better in there. But we use that facility every day when we're practicing at Baum Stadium with part of the team. Some of the team was over there. We'd rotate groups. There's early work in there, stay late and hit in there. You want to come back an hour after practice is over and hit. The coaches will meet them in there, and guys just come on their own. It's been a great facility. It's something that I knew it would be. I think the fact that it's so nice, it just makes kids want to be in there, and definitely helping us get better, and it's definitely helping us in recruiting.
Blake Baxendale, you'd said something about his rehab, or I can't remember exactly. But
No, I didn't say anything about his rehab. No, he wasn't. He just, I guess every program's not for every kid, and I just wish Blake the best. I'm sure he'll do well up at Crowder Junior College.
Is your lineup shaked out? You got your final roster, or are you still?
We're at 38. We've gone from about 48 to 38. We've got 38 still in that locker room. we'll have a roster of about 35 we have to turn in, before the first ball game. Obviously, we've had, one player that has to count against us, or a couple are gone, one of them being Blake. So really we'll end up having a roster of 34, that is 34, 33 that are actually, eligible to play. So, and, the 3 or 4 extra kids, like every year in most all Division I's, they might, once the season starts, they won't be able to practice with the team, but they're still with us. They're just not on the 35-man roster. And the way that works is they can still use all the facilities, the academic center, the locker room, the weight room with the strength coach and our people. They just can't practice with the team. They're going to get ready for next year. And we've got a couple of kids that are going to be pretty good. We have one young man that ran a 6'4", 60 about 2 weeks ago outside on a wet field. But he weighs 148 pounds. And I told him next year I want him 160 when fall ball starts, so he's working on it. So he's not ready yet, and instead of taking a spot on the roster, he's just going to work. So I think he'll play for us one day.
So was Blake, I don't know the rules, so was he because he was on scholarship?
Yep. If you're on scholarship, you're a counter, and you only get so many counters. That's probably the most disappointing part of the whole situation.
McAfee, was he 100% of the fall?
Yeah, he was 100%. His back's real good, and was really impressive. I know what the stat that really impressed me, and I hope he can continue it in spring, is that he walked 15 or 16 times, only struck out 4 or 5. And to me, that's a huge stat. Anytime players in a lineup, if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 guys in your lineup that walk more than they strike out, you're going to score runs. And and he hit 300, and he played healthy, and he played well, and there's a battle for short. Mike Bernal played there about 50 games last year, and he had a really good fall. He's a lot bigger, stronger, better. It might be a situation when they're both in the lineup. Just somebody might have to go to second. So there's a real battle to get in the lineup with our infielders, because brought in a couple of guys that are pretty good hitters and run scorer. Rick Namura is just a switch hitter that can bunt and run and slice it all over the field, and and then Max Hogan's a left-handed hitter that hit about 360 last year in junior college, and he came in and really the first 3 weeks he had a really good 3 weeks. The series he didn't do real well, but other than that he played well, and he can play second or third. Along with the returners that we have, it's a battle. It's good.
What was it like to see some of your former players do what they did at Dallas? Win the Gold Glove, and Drew had a pretty good year as a first-year starter, and you had some call-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was very impressive. Keuchel, he was always a good fielder, but he had a really good year on the mound, and had some shutdown games where he just got after some teams. And he's playing on a team that a lot of times didn't score a lot of runs, and he'd give him 7 innings every time out and save that bullpen. And I was thinking he might get traded down the stretch. Some team that was, I don't know, maybe they could get some good players for him down the road. But Drew Smiley, I think he was, talking with Drew, he was a little bit disappointed he got traded, but I think it's really motivated him. And he pitched pretty well down the stretch, and then they shut him down when he got to a certain amount of innings, and that was good to see. And it was good to see Wilkins get a chance to play in the big leagues. Didn't go real good, but he got there. He had over 30 home runs in AAA, and the one he should have got called up was Reynolds. And what Matt hit 350, 360 in AAA, but there was a lot of the baseball rules involved there, where they had guys that had to be called up, or they get chance to go, I don't know what, free agent or whatever, and he was the AAA player of the year and he didn't get called up. There's a reason for it, not because he didn't deserve it. He deserved it. So he'll get a chance in spring training to make the team. And then you got James McCann, who took advantage of his time in the big leagues, and it was neat to see that Verlander had enough trust in him to catch that Friday game in Kansas City when they had a 1-run lead on Kansas City in late September. And when the head coach went up and asked, I guess Osmus or whoever was, asked him, "Hey, are you okay with McCann?" He was like, "I'm fine with McCann," and he pitched a great game. I think he had a shutout till the 8th or 9th inning, and we've been told that James has a great chance to make the club next year as a backup. And he's one of those guys that if he gets on the team, the pitchers are going to want to throw to him. So it's exciting to see. I know I left some guys off, but it's good to see those guys in the big leagues. It's good for our program.